Hello, today we're talking about negotiating and calling for loads. If you're a trucking dispatcher and you need some pointers, tips and tricks on how to call loads, this is the right video for you. So first I'm going to be talking about some tactics, for when you're calling a negotiation, and then we're going to call few loads, and then we're going to do it live. So let me first start with some tips for you. So when you call for a load, what I do, and I said that in one of my previous videos, I don't introduce myself usually, because to me it's a waste of time. I will greet the person on the other line and then ask them politely and nicely about the load. But if I just say my name and my company name and all that, to me it's just a waste of their and my time. So when I call on loads, I will say, hi, I see you have a load from there to there. Can you tell me about the load? So once they start telling me about the load, they may ask me for my MC number or my name, and then I will tell them that. Or maybe even when you're about to book the load, if you like it, then they will ask for my name and my information, my driver information, and all those things as well. But for beginning, I just tell them, what load I'm calling on, and then I let them tell me about the load. And then I will ask them, if they haven't already told me so, about a few other things. I will ask, where does it pick up? Where does it go to? What time does it pick up? And what time does it deliver? How heavy is the load? What's the product? The commodity, what are we hauling? If they don't know, sometimes they will say freight of all kinds, or the grocery, but the more specifics you have, the better it is for you. And for the driver, to present the load, you'll have more information for them, and then you will look like you know what you're doing because you're asking all those things. It really matters what you're hauling, and if something is suspicious to you and they don't know what it is, then don't book the load. And that goes for anything, If there's even one red flag about the load, just don't take it. If your gut feeling is that there is something off with this load, then don't take it. Don't let them talk you into the load. Just tell them, no, thank you. If something changes, I'll call you back. So when they give you all the information, it's also, sometimes it helps if you know the shipper's name and the receiver, because sometimes they will sneak these loads onto you. Like they will tell you, deliver 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, easy on enough. And then when they send you the rate confirmation, it's Sam's Club, it's Costco, it's Walmart, it's Target, one of these, and then there are more of these big chains and big DCs. And what that means is that you're usually going to get stuck there for a few hours, and no one wants that. So if you know where it's going, then it might save you some time. And then, if you get the load and then it's one of those things and your driver does not want to do that, or you don't want to do it, just call them back and say, cancel the load. Just tell them, hey, you didn't tell me it was going. Well, you didn't ask. Okay, I didn't ask, but you should tell us, if there is something like that. You should tell us that this is a Walmart DC so we can prepare. Walmart DC, you can't be late. Yeah, I think you can be late 1 hour, but that's it. Some of the other places are even more strict. So if you're late, then they're going to make you wait for days. So you have to know that you have enough hours to get there. And then what it usually means, you have to drop the trailer. If you have a driver that's hurt, or an older gentleman or lady, and they, it's hard for them to drop trailers. Or what if your next load is picking up in an hour or 2 hours, and you know that Walmart is going to take 3 hours. So just, don't grab that load unless, it works for you. I know, unless you're okay to go to Walmart, or a driver is okay to do that, you have enough time for next load, that's different. But you should know all those things before you book the load. Also, you have to check the broker. You can't just you can't just take loads for any broker out there. You have to check them. If it's one of the bigger players, then that's different. But usually it's a smaller broker. You have to check their scores, their reviews, the payment history, all kinds of stuff. And then once you feel comfortable working with that broker, then you can get set up. Even if you're already set up, it doesn't hurt to recheck the broker, because if you're working with a factoring company and they approve the broker, technically you're supposed to check with your factoring company anytime you book a load. It doesn't matter if you're already set up or if you work 20 times with that broker. You're supposed to check with the factoring company every time, because something might change. You haven't worked with the broker in last 2 months, and their history, became the paying history became bad, or they placed them on do not buy list or no buy list. Then it's a problem. You booked a load and you did a load with broker, and you want to invoice it, but your factoring company will not buy that invoice because you didn't check the broker. So that's another thing you have to do. And then negotiating. So when you ask how much the load is, or if they tell you, then you always have to ask for more. That's just common practice, and you're gonna make more money. No matter if you're trucking authority, you work for yourself with your own trucks, or dispatching for someone else, you always shoot high. If you call and the load is paying $1,000, then you always ask for more. If you think that $1,200 would be a decent rate for that load, but they're only giving you $1,000, don't ask for 12, ask for more. Because if you ask for 12, they might give you 1,050 or 1,100. You're not gonna get 12. Maybe sometimes you will, but usually they try to go down. So if the load is paying $1,000, you shoot high. You say 1,500. But then again, you have to be polite and do it in a tactical way. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, this load that's too cheap, man. We need 1,500." No, just use a different phrase. It depends, how you feel or what you think is gonna work with the person on the other side of the phone. So tell them something like that. "Hey, sir, ma'am, is there any way you could do 1,500 for this load? Or can you get any closer to 1,500? Or what's your max on this load? Or do you have any flexibility? Do you have any room on this rate?" And then you will then they will say, "Well, maybe I could do another 100, And then you tell them, "Well, I was hoping to be around 15. Is there any way you could do that?" And they'll say, "No, well, maybe 1150, 12. I have to ask my boss." And then you tell them, "Okay," because you were shooting for, let's say you were shooting for 1,300 in the first place, or 1,400. And you tell them, "Okay, hey, well, yeah, go ahead and ask your boss. Just keep in mind, my guy's empty now. He has fresh hours. He's close to the pickup, like 20, 30 miles, whatever. The truth is, we can pick up there and deliver first thing in the morning, whatever." Tell them something that they like, and that will kind of say, "Oh, well, we have this carrier and they're empty now, and they can go there right away, and they can pick up first thing in the morning. We better sell this load for less money with someone who is able to do it, safely and in timely manner, instead of risking, are we going to find someone else? Who are they going to be? How are their scores? Are they going to be okay? Does the driver have enough hours? Who's the driver? Is it a reliable driver?" Stuff like that. So you tell them all these little things, that work, that you can offer them, that someone else might not have available, and you present it to them, and then they go to their boss, if they're actually going to the boss, or if they're just, putting on hold and maybe just like playing a game, because that happens too. But when they come back, and they might say, "Hey, I talked to my boss, the maximum we can do is 1,250. And and then then it's up to you to decide whether you're gonna take this one step further or not. Then you tell them, well, you know what? Hey, can we just do it for $12.75? I know, $25. Don't do it if you think that the load is gonna go away, like their phones are ringing, the loads are flying off of the board. Don't do that. But only if you're comfortable. If you see the load has been posted for, quite some time, or if they are relaxed, if it's a small broker and they are the only one in the office, and it's up to them to sell you the load, then you can take it one step further and say, hey, I really have to be at 1,300. I mean, is there any way or can we go ahead and book it for $12.75, and just be done with it? It makes their day easier. They can do something else, and then you can do something else, and most likely they will do it. But like I said, if you see that other person is kind of like, picky, and they don't want to deal, they are nervous, like they talk to you with an attitude, then don't do that. Don't take it too much. Just do a little bit of negotiation, and then get the load. What I hate is, and I really hate that, and I sometimes fight with brokers about it. When I call and then they ask me like, what rate do you want? How much money do you want for this load? Something like that. If you tell them, like, if the load, they have $1,000 on the load, they can pay you $1,000, and then you tell them, well, 800, and then they'll be, oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, cool, we can do it. And then they're like, oh yeah, I should have asked for more, because they accepted the rate right away. That means they had more money, and they were probably hoping they were probably planning to sell the load for more money, and now here is this guy who settled for 800, and yeah, we'll do it for 800. But then if you tell them, well, 1,500, then they're gonna be like, oh no, the most I can do for this load is 900. Well, why do you ask me how much money do you need? Do you think I'm gonna, go down and then do it for less than what you have? Do you think I'm stupid? Or maybe sometimes it works, but me and you're not gonna allow them to do that. So they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I have 900. Then maybe, you'll renegotiate and then book the load for 1,000. So what that means, like, the broker knew all this time how much money they could spend on this load, but they played dumb. They wanted you to go down on the rate and then lose money, and then they're going to be like, hey, look at this sucker, he's, But what I do in that case, when they tell me, how much do you want for this load? That's when I stop. If I really need a load, if that's the only load, I have a driver, it's empty, there is nothing, then, I'll tell them, okay, I need 1,200 for this load, and then maybe we'll do it for 1,000. But usually I would just tell them, thank you, have a nice day. And then they're going to be, why? Well, because you're posting this load, and you know how much you're getting from the customer, and you know how much money you usually make on loads, and you're asking me how much money I want for that load. Well, let's like if you were selling a car, and then someone calls you and say, hey, I like your car, I want to take a look at the car, how much do you ask for it? And then you're like, well, the question is, how much are you willing to give me for the car? It doesn't work like that. I'm selling the car, I know what it's worth, I know how much I want to sell the car for, and I'll tell you that. If you don't know, if you're playing games with me, I don't want to work with you. I just don't like when they do that, and I immediately and then we usually get into a fight, and I tell them, hey, well, you knew all along how much the load. Why waste our time? Why not tell me right away how much the load is, and then we can, maybe book the load, or maybe, go, for a load someplace else, because this will not for us. So this will not work for us. So that's up to you if you're gonna let them play that game with you. So when you negotiate on loads, when you call loads, you have to have the right attitude. You have to be respectful and confident in what you're doing. If you're not confident, the person on the other line will sense that, and remember, it's all a game. I'm not trying to tell that the other people are bad. I'm just saying this is a game, and you have to know how to play the game. You have to show them you're confident. You know what you're doing. You know what the rates are. You know how much you want. If you don't get how much you need, then you're not gonna go with them. You're just gonna say, no, thank you, have a nice day, and then I'll call the next load. So when you're confident, you call them and you say, well, I really need to be at this much, and then they say, well, no, we can only do this much, and you don't want it, and then they come back to you and they try to talk you into it, and never take a load when someone is talking you into taking a load, because if someone is talking you into it, then it means that you're not going to be comfortable doing that load. Your driver is not going to be comfortable. Something may be wrong, like when you pick up the load or when you deliver, and something happens, and then you're like, well, I knew, I shouldn't have taken that load because something, my gut feeling told me that something is wrong with this load. And always go with your gut feeling. Always, like whatever you think about this load, always go with that. Don't let them talk you into the load. Tell you, oh, well, it's a light load, or you're not going to find anything else, or how about this, and they try to teach you how the business works. They try to teach you, tell you how much money you can make on this load, that you're not going to find anything else. Don't let anyone do that to you, because you know what you're doing. You're confident that you're going to find a better load than that. So that being said, also be respectful, use sir, ma'am, thank them to the point. If they start being rude to you, then don't let them do that to you. You can either just tell them, no, thank you, have a nice day, and bye. Don't hang up on anyone. Everyone would do it maybe once in a great while. When you get mad, I understand, I get mad too, but it's really not the way to end a conversation, just to hang up on someone. That's like the last resort. Just tell them politely, I don't want to do load. If they are rude to you and they start offending you, like laughing in your face, I don't let anyone do that to me. I would, just tell them back, hey, this is what it is. You're not professional. You're rude. Thank you. Bye. But don't let anyone, especially if you're a person who gets offended easily, or if you're emotional, like even when you finish the conversation, and if this was not a pleasant conversation, don't get it to you. Don't think about it all day. Don't feel bad, because that's just another person. For that one person that's rude, you're going to have probably another 5 persons that are nice and polite. So people are like that. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe something happened. Who knows why they're acting like that? Don't let it get to you, because like when you stress out, and this is a stressful job, then it's not good for your health. You're gonna start to dislike this job. When you go home, your family might even suffer because you were stressed out. It's different if you have a lot of problems, with drivers and all that, and, it just adds up. But if someone is just being rude to you, at the end, it's really not worth it. So let us call a few loads, and then maybe I can show you the way I do it. I'm not saying this is the way to do it, or a perfect way, or the best way. This is just the way I do it, and then maybe you can learn something. And then I learned something too from these videos. Like when I do videos, then I would think about things, and then I will, maybe realize something that I didn't know before, and I'm learning myself. So let's go. All right, so I have my pen, my paper, my phone, my headset, and then let's start. So I have a guy who is in Belleville, Michigan tomorrow. He needs to come back home, going to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then I have a guy who is actually in Dunkirk, New York, but that's close here from Erie. So I posted him out of Erie because it's on his way. But just for the sake of this video, to make it easier for you, we're just gonna post him from Dunkirk, New York for tomorrow, going to Grand Rapids. And then I also posted him from Cleveland because that's kind of on the way. Now it's late in the afternoon now. There are not that many loads available, but we'll still call some loads. So let me see. Now Belleville, Michigan, I did a radius for 80 miles pickup, 200 miles delivery, because that's a short trip. It's like 150 miles, maybe even less, to Fort Wayne. So we have this Detroit, Michigan to Wabash, Indiana. The deadhead is not bad, 29 miles to Detroit and 51 miles to Wabash. We're looking for a load that can deliver same day. So we're going to call on the load. You have the extension number, you have the email. You can also email them if that's easier for you, but I like calling. So we're going to call. Well, I'm going to put on speaker so you can hear.
Thank you for calling Everest Transportation Systems. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time.
And then dial the extension. Hello?
Yes, how can I help you?
Hi, calling your load for tomorrow out of Detroit, Michigan to Wabash, Indiana.
Out of Michigan to Michigan?
No, Michigan to Indiana.
Pick up tomorrow, Detroit, Michigan, between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Delivery next day between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. in South Wabash, Indiana. 43,000 pounds, rate is $7.50.
Okay, so you're saying it delivers next day? Is it delivered on Saturday?
Oh, no, sorry, delivery same day before 4 p.m. My bad.
Oh, same day. Okay, and then what was the product there?
It's aluminum on pallets.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Aluminum.
Oh, okay. And then do you know by any chance, like, the receiver? Who's the receiver?
Metal source.
Okay. Now, is this palletized and clean?
Yeah, it's also that's clean and pallets.
Okay, great. Do you think you could do 1,000 on this load?
No, 750 is best on this lane.
That's the very best, not even like 900?
Not even 9.
Okay, well, let me see if that works. Thanks for your time.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, bye. So they were not willing to negotiate on that load. Let's call next load here. Let's see what we have. We have this Fowlerville, Michigan to Elkhart, Indiana. Let's see what we can do there. 888. So like we said, just the key is to have the correct attitude. I'm gonna, once they Hi, calling your load for tomorrow out of Fowlerville, Michigan to Elkhart, Indiana.
Michigan to Indiana? Sure, 1 second, okay?
Okay.
And transportation solutions for businesses across North America.
So once they come back, I'll put them on speaker. And then meantime, you can always look for other loads for the same driver or for another driver. like this one here, Geneva, New York, but this is too far, 150 miles deaded in other way, so that's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't see anything for this guy, so you go back to the same guy and see if there's something else, because the loads keep coming out. Like this one is 0 minutes old. It just came out, but it's the same broker that I called before. But they post them all the time. So like when they put me on hold like this, it depends if I really need the load bad. Yes, hi. I was calling on your Fowlerville, Michigan tomorrow to Elkhart, Indiana.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Fowlerville to Elkhart, no?
Excuse me?
Fowlerville to Indiana, right?
Yes.
Can I get also your entry, please?
115-4691.
115 and then
4691.
06, right?
No, 4691.
Ben. 115 and then 4691.
Yes.
Understood, sir. Thank you. Is it Usora Express LLC, sir?
Yes.
Understood. Okay, this one, sir, picked up in Fowler. I don't know how do you pronounce that?
Fowlerville.
Fowlerville. Dang, that's a mouthful. Michigan from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then it was at Elkhart, Indiana on the 22nd at 10 a.m., sir.
So delivers 10 a.m. on Monday.
Uh-huh.
And how much are you paying?
It's 40,000 pounds, sir. The commodity is death. It's on 20 pallets. I don't know what you had in mind for something like this, sir. I can only have on this one 400, but also if you have another rate, I can
400. Yeah, that's probably not gonna work. He has to deliver same day anyway. But thanks for your help.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. So this is an example of like when you call and the person is not sure what they're doing. Now, this load is not paying well. $400 for 156 loaded miles. It's really not paying well. And then it's delivered on Monday. So I didn't even want to ask for more money, because if they're now at 400, then they're not gonna go much higher, maybe 450, maybe 500. And then even if they do 600, it's not gonna work for us, because it's a Monday delivery. So let me see. We have this White Pigeon, Michigan, but that's not gonna work because he has to go to Indiana. How about this one? This delivers Saturday in South Bend. This is not gonna work. Let me call it anyway, just to show you, just to do a couple of more phone calls. Well, they have a different phone number here. I can call that number directly here in the comment section. So I'm gonna call that number. Hi, you guys have a load for tomorrow out of Flat Rock, Michigan to South Bend, Indiana?
Let me just double check here for you.
Okay. This is
noon pickup, 9 a.m. Saturday delivery, 43.5 in the weight, just the 1-in-1, paying $750.
And then what's the product here?
It is Pepsi.
Pepsi. Okay. Would you guys be able to do you have any room on the rate?
I could do like $750. I could help out some.
Okay. Well, let me see if that works, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Now, this is the guy that you want to work with. This is what I enjoy. He answers right away. There is no going through extensions and, on hold music, probably working from home or in an office by himself. So he answers right away, goes straight to the point. You can hear in his voice that he is confident, that he knows what the load is and when can it deliver, how much he can spend on the load, and then what's not going to work. And he tells me it's Pepsi, and because for some people that might be a deal breaker, because Pepsi and Coke sometimes they're known to unload for a long time. So this is how I like to sound when I call loads, and then when I answer my phone, confident, straight to the point, no messing around, honest, take it or leave it. If you take it, I'll do my best to help you out, to go through the end. If you don't take it, just tell me, hey, I don't like the load, thank you, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Now, let me see if we have other loads. Now, this load, I'm just going to call it because I'm not going to, let me see who this is. Dispatch. Hello? Okay. I'm going to call this load, and just to see, I know these guys. I booked loads with them before, and then I'm just gonna see about this load.
Thank you for calling Fort Wayne. If you know your party's extension,
Like I was trying to say before, I don't like waiting a long time for someone to answer. That not only is it frustrating, like when you book the load, and if you need help later on, like you need a pickup number or something's wrong with the load, then they're not going to answer again. If they don't answer now, they're not going to answer later when you need them, and I don't want that load. Now these guys, are okay, so I'm just going to wait a little bit. So not sure if you were able to listen all the way to the end because my battery died in my camera, but the load was 15, this Geneva to Grand Rapids, Michigan, Geneva, New York, and then IS for 18, and they came up to 17. So that, because they know it's a heavy load, they know it delivers on Monday, and they know that they are going to have to spend more. So they right away they went up $200. Maybe they would have even given me 18 if I pushed for it. But I think 1,700 is really a good rate from there to Grand Rapids, Michigan. But the only thing is that they posted it. The posted weight was 40,000 pounds, and then when I called, they said 44, because it really matters. It's not about 4,000. It's about like it's close to the limit on what this guy can do, and probably. I mean, it's doable, but I wish people would post the correct weight. But let's see if we can call more loads. Now, at this point, like if I don't see any loads, I would probably go to a broker's website like C.H. Robinson. But I have a contact there, and I do chat with him, so it wouldn't make any sense that it will not work for this video, because I'm trying to tell you how I talk to brokers. So let me see if I can find more loads. Maybe call these loads and see what they are. Like this, see, this load is the usually when they have a posted rate, they are not gonna go much higher, maybe not even a little bit. So when they have a posted rate that like this here, 650, then it's probably what they have in their load. Maybe they'll go like $25, maybe 700, but you can expect this load to pay that much. So if you expect 800 or 900 for this load, you're probably not gonna get it. But let's just call them and then see if I was right. Hi, you guys have a load for tomorrow out of Livonia, Michigan to Muncie, Indiana?
Yes, I do. Those pick up between 8 and 4.
Okay.
Could deliver same day till 3:30 p.m. or Monday morning, and I can pay $650 on that one.
Okay, and then what's the product here?
It's going to be a load of batteries, non-hazardous, no touch.
Okay. Do you think you could do 8 on this load?
Paying $650 on the load, sir.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I was right. So if they have a post rate for $650, that's it. And then used batteries, that usually means it's heavy. Sometimes you may get some, like when they unload all the assets, the truck is moving and shaking, maybe you'll get some on your floor. So you have to keep that in mind. And then usually they don't pay well for these used batteries. And then, like usually when you call on a load, you can negotiate, and brokers know that that there will be negotiation because that's kind of business. That's how it works. But then you ask them for more money, and then they say, well, that's the attitude I'm telling you about, that maybe you should say, hey, I don't have that much more in my load. The best I can do is $650. But oh well. Now let me see if I could call one more load, and then we can call it a day. You see, like this Sunville, they have posted Niagara Falls, New York to Traverse City, Michigan. That's up north from here. And then they don't have a rate. But then in this one, it's the same posting. Where did it go? Here. But it does have a rate, and like first come, first serve. But it's only email. So I'm going to call that load and then see if we can maybe get them to maybe see if they will do 16 for this load, because that'd be a decent rate. But remember, we can't ask for 60, we have to ask for more.
Sama.
Hi, you guys have a load for tomorrow out of Niagara Falls, New York to Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Picks up at 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Goes to Michigan on the 22nd at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
It's abrasive grain, about 600 miles, 44 on the weight, and I got 16 into it.
You got 16?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming this is picking up in General Mills, right?
I believe it's... Let me double check with you.
Okay.
1 second. Emery's Fused Minerals.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey.
And
sorry, go ahead.
What's your MC number?
115-4691.
2691?
4691.
Eusora?
Yes, sir. Hey,
right,
do you think you could do this load for 19?
I mean, I do that lane usually at 16, man. I can give you 17. I can do that for you.
17. Okay, let me see. My guy will have some deadhead. I have to, ask him, but the rate is, good. So let me see if that works.
Okay.
Is your name Dallas?
It's Josh.
Oh, Josh. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. If this works, I'll call you right back, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So, when I called, it was actually 16 because I think that's like the standard rate that you could, and it's a decent rate to get from there to Traverse City. But then I was going to ask for 18, but the minute he said 16, and I thought maybe, I should go a little bit more just to get more out of that load. If I said 18, maybe it'd be like 16, 15. Maybe he would have said 17. But then when I say 19, now I have more leverage. Why? Because, I'm going to call the driver and ask, and then the driver says, okay, he'll do the load. But then I can come back and say, hey, can you do 18? If I was at 18 right away, it'd be different. But now I was at 19, and now when I come back, it looks like I'm going down a little bit, to work it out with him. I'm doing him a favor to do the load for 18 now. So he might say, yeah, let's do 18, or he might say, 1750 or 7075. But you get my point. So I hope you like the video. I hope you learned something. And like I said, I learn every day myself too. There is no one here who can say, they know it all. We can just share from each other experiences. And then I hope to see you in the next video. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you later.